We're always having fun. The two of us always shaking and shaking. Hey, everybody, welcome to So Victory Live. I am definitely Zevson, and there's dancing. I'm always showing the wrong place. Dancing right there is my partner in crime, Callie. Callie, I'm really excited for this topic today because our guest, Sally, is going to talk about becoming a self-care rock star.
I know. Who doesn't want to become a self-care rock star? I consider
Yes.
myself a self-care rock star, but I want to see what Sally has.
Me too. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Guess what? We already have, let's welcome Wendy Lee. She is already saying, shake, 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 shake your booty. She knows.
Hi, Wendy.
So, sister. All the way from Texas, Wendy Lee. Yes, we're shaking our booty. Hey, everybody. If you're just tuning in, you are here tuning in into So Victory Live. And if you're wondering what our show is all about, we are, it's fireside chat stories to ignite and inspire victories. And we just want to bring the right people with the right stories. Today, who do we have? We have our guest, Sally Green, who's going to share her story of how she became a self-care rock star. And I'm going to let Kelly here do her introduction because I know we have a lot to share. So, Kelly, I'm putting this up for you.
Thank you so much, Zeph. I already have it on my screen, but thanks for thinking of me anyway. You're so thoughtful. Please make welcome our guest for today's show. Sally Green is a vice president at Action Takers Publishing. They specialize in publishing themed anthology and collaboration books where each person writes a chapter. I love those books. They also publish solo books. She is a 6-time international bestselling author and is currently in the process of writing her own book titled The Self-Care Rockstar.
Yes.
Due to launch in the spring of 2023. That's next year. She is the coach and mentor helping women on their writing journey. Her Self-Care Rockstar program helps women begin and continue their self-care journey. Please
help us welcome Sally Green in the house. Whoop, 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 whoop. And so Sister Wendy Lee says, love y'all. We love you too, sister.
We love you, Wendy. Stay there.
So, Sally, I just want to say welcome to the show, and I cannot wait to hear your story. And, we talk a lot about self-care, and I definitely, in days when I get so busy with work and maybe some personal crisis, whatever, I forget to do self-care. So I'm going to listen in and tune into your story and let you tell your story, right, Kelly? And I'm going to put this up. Sally has a bunch of pictures for us to take a look at, and this is where she's going to share her story. In case you don't know, folks, at So Victory Live, we let our guests show pictures so that you can follow their stories. Here we go. All right, Sally, it's all yours.
Well, I'm going to go back to 2019, and here's a picture of me and my family. And at this point, I was feeling stuck. I was living this life, and I was doing the same thing day after day after day. I don't know if anybody here can relate, but it was, you get up, you feed the cats, you go to work, you come home, you cook dinner, you pay a few bills, you watch TV, you go to bed, and it's rinse and repeat over and over again. And, so I had no goals. I had no dreams. And any dreams that I had before just seemed so far away and so unattainable. And all of my dreams were just out of reach. And it was, like I said, it was like that hamster wheel, and it was just turning and turning and turning. And I just felt so stuck. And I knew that something had to change. And then 2020 hit. And when the pandemic happened, I realized that I was in a really bad place. I looked in the mirror, and I knew that something had to change, that I had two choices. Either I could sink or I could change. And so, I was someone who was really, really good at taking care of everybody else. I took care of my business. I took care of my family. I took care of my parents. I was always doing things for everyone else. But when I looked in the mirror, I realized that I was really, really bad at taking care of me. And so I made a decision that day in March of 2020 that I wasn't going to take it anymore, that I was going to do something different. And I began making small changes. These small changes, I started with my eating, because that was the one thing that I knew that I can control. So I started looking up recipes and finding healthy recipes to cook for me and my family. And I started feeling better about myself just because I was eating healthier. I stopped eating sugar, and we cut out all bread, and I stopped drinking alcohol. And it was, I felt just so much better. And then we started walking and exercising. And over the next few months, what I started doing was I started adding different things. So I turned off the television because I just couldn't stand watching everything. And I started reading and meditating at night. And I started getting up earlier in the morning, and I would take online classes. And so these were things that I did for me to fill my cup. And it was funny because I started investing in me. I started investing money in me that I hadn't done in years. I hadn't invested anything in myself. And so when I started doing that, opportunities started showing up. I got an offer to be in a book collaboration. Now, at that time, I had no idea what a collaboration book even was. But I said yes. And so I wrote a chapter in a collaboration book. And, I had for years, I had been just waiting for someone else to come and rescue me. I had been waiting for someone to say, hey, look, we have this opportunity for you. But it wasn't until I raised my hand and I started stepping out and doing things and stepping out of my comfort zone that things really started happening. And so the first book that I was in was this book. It was 150 different authors inside this book. And I quickly realized that I was totally out of my element, because it was a book, and it was called One Habit for Entrepreneurial Success. And inside this book were 150 authors, and many of them were successful business owners and actors and coaches who were highly, highly successful. And we were in these Zoom rooms. I was in these Zoom rooms with these people, and I was like, holy cow, here I am, this cute little mom from Connecticut with no email list and no connections. And I'm thrown into this world with all these people. And I my first instinct was to just step away. But I said, you know what, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to leverage this opportunity. And so I reached out to a bunch of the people who were inside of this book, and I kept investing in myself. I joined a mastermind, and I joined an online university, and I started doing all of these things. And the mastermind I joined, the woman that I took it with, she started helping me to create a new business, and I called it the Self-Care Rockstar. And she helped me create this program to help other women, do what I had been doing for now. It was a year and a half, and stepping out of my comfort zone and doing things that scared me. And so I worked with her for a while, and she was putting together a collaboration book, 2 collaboration books, as a matter of fact. And she asked me if I would contribute to both of those books with her. And so, it was really hard for me to say yes to a lot of these opportunities because, I had that voice inside my head saying, who am I? It was totally out of my comfort zone. But I started doing this. I called it the Self-Care Rockstar show. I launched it on YouTube, and here I am interviewing people. I had never interviewed anybody in my life, and I'm giving these interviews. And then I got asked to speak at a summit, and I was like, I had no idea what a summit even was, how to even talk in front of people. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it, and I just kept saying yes, and I kept doing it. And there were so many times at night I'd be laying here saying, what the heck am I doing? This is crazy. I have no idea what I'm doing. I better just quit this. And I didn't. I just kept persevering. I just kept going. And time after time, different opportunities started showing up for me. Well, Linda asked me to contribute in the 2 books that she was in. And one day we were speaking, and she seemed a little stressed. And I said, you've been so helpful. You've helped me create this program. You've really helped me go forward. What can I do to help you with these books? Let me do some work behind the scenes. And so just as a friend, I offered to help her with some of the marketing materials. And we started talking about some of the women who were writing their chapters. I was getting on phone calls with them and offering to help them write their chapters. And, I realized that I was really good at that. And I really loved doing it. And so, it took that stepping out of my comfort zone, and it took that, that heart of service, where I offered to help. And after we were done, Linda gave me a call, and she said, I love doing these books. I love being part of this. Why don't you join my team, and why don't we do this together? And so we changed the name of the business. She had been calling it Women Action Takers. And I said, well, I kind of like the guys too. So we renamed it Action Takers Publishing. And in October of 2021, just 1 year ago, we started Action Takers Publishing. And it's been so much fun. What we're doing is we are taking people and we're be able to share their stories. And the act of writing, I don't know if anybody here writes, but sometimes when you're stressed, sitting down and writing your feelings out, or getting them your feelings and your emotions out of you and onto paper, even if you don't publish them, it's just so healing. So, we're helping these women to share men and women to share their stories with the world and to get their stories out there. And I realized that, books do open doors, so, here I did, I made the decision. I started with the small little shifts and habits, doing, not doing something huge right away, but doing those little habits a little bit at a time, stepping out of my comfort zone, saying yes to things that absolutely frightened me, being persistent, offering to help people, and not expecting anything in return. And I was able to revive my dreams. And now I'm setting these goals. I'm writing these books, and I've become a self-care rock star. And one of the things I love is helping other people to step into their brilliance, to step into that, those dreams that for so long they had tucked away, and to step forward and say, hey, you know what? I can do this. I can move forward, and I can live the life that I really want.
Love that story. Oh, wow. It's just like, I have so much now, like in my head too. I'm like, where do we start? But before we start that, I know we have a lot of questions. Let's go into a quick intermission, and we'll come back and have a roundtable conversation. We'll be right back, folks.
Thank you.
Victory Live is all about sharing stories to ignite and inspire victories. We are here on Wednesdays, and our first, third, and fifth Wednesdays, we go live at 11 a.m. New York time, and second and fourth Wednesdays at 9 p.m. New York time. And you can get all this information at sowvictory.com/talk live-show. Now, after the live broadcast, you're invited to join us in a post-show meet and greet where you can engage and have more intimate conversations with our cast members and guests. You can go to live.sowvictory.com and join us in our studio lounge for the meet and greet. We'll see you then. All right. Kelly, you got to start us off. I have a list.
I have a book.
I can publish your book.
There you go. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Sally. There's so much there. There's like, I've was part of a collaboration of book authors that was coming together, and everything was so beautiful. And this was a real big challenge for me. Was that the alignment of the process of the story of the collaboration was about your journey. Okay. And there was 13 different authors that were sharing their journey. But because I go so deep and so real that they didn't want me to do that in the book. And so they exited me from the collaboration of the book.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yeah. So I love that you are bringing the self-care, the realness and the rawness of absolutely every aspect of that together. And that to me really aligns. And I really, really, really love that. So kudos to you for stepping up and stepping out and going through those heart-wrenching moments of going, oh, should I do this? Is this what needs? You know what? There's women that need you all over the world, not just in your.
We all, the men, the women, we all need you, Sally Green.
Yeah. So I really love that you're doing the Self-Care Rockstar. I can't wait because I really I'm all about self-love and self-care. So any other tips that I can get to support me in my space, I want to know about it. I want to be doing everything. I'm just like, massage today, nails tomorrow, spa the next day, because we have to.
Yeah.
We have to.
And the thing is, it's not just our physical, it's our mental and our,
Absolutely.
everything, so
Yes.
We got to make sure that we do it, do the whole body and soul and spirit,
body and soul, body and soul.
And you gotta move the body. Yes.
And one of the things early on, I was listening to the amazing Les Brown speak, and he said, what you got to do is you got to keep your cup filled to overflowing and only give to others from the overflow. Constantly keep your cup filled. And that hit me because I was like, I've been doing it wrong all these years. I would give and give and give and give until my cup was almost empty, and then I would fill it up enough till maybe it was full or a little bit overflowing, and then I would keep doing it again. And it was exhausting for me, living a life like that. And it wasn't until I was like, you know what? All right, I'm going to turn the TV off. I'm going to read. That's going to be my time. I'm going to, learn some new things because that's going to get me excited. And I'm going to, buy some new clothes. I'm going to look the part. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to do all these different things that make me happy. That, because I was so entrenched in making other people happy.
Yeah.
To the extent that I would say yes to people that when I wanted to say no.
I hear you. That was my next question, right? Because that was why I was scribbling fast. Because in part of the conversation that you brought up in your story, you said, I'm good at taking care of everyone else. Da, da, da. And I was like, slowly, yep. My hand was just raising up, right? Mm-hmm. But you also mentioned about, do you change or do you want to sink, right? What was your pivotal moment as to like, I need to change, or do I just let this sink? Is there one? I'm sure that's not just one, but is there something somewhere in the timeline that you go like, this needs to change?
Yeah. March 25th, 2020. I know the
She
day.
can't even date it,
I
people.
I woke up that morning. I did. I woke up that morning. I looked in the mirror and I was like, "Oh my God, you're a freaking mess."
Yeah.
Because the pandemic was we had just in full swing. We lost a whole ton of work. Financially, I was a mess. Emotionally, I was a mess. I was 40 pounds heavier than I am now. And I was, I was in bad space and everything was just a wreck. And I said, if I keep going, I think one more day, I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to be able to pull out of this. That's how deep I had fallen. And I said, I need to do something different right now. And so I said to my daughter,
I'm
come on, let's
having
go.
goosies.
We're going for a walk. Because my daughter was here. She was living here at the time. And I said, we're going for a walk. And we went for a walk and we were talking and I said, let's join Weight Watchers. We'll go home. Came back here. We cleaned out the pantry. We threw out all the junk food. I mean, I had a ton of junk food. We threw out all the junk food.
I have so goosies.
And we just said, you know what? I'm going to do things differently. We started looking up recipes and, I said, that's it. I'm stopping. I don't know about you guys, but I'm doing something differently. And so they joined me and we started a journey. And
That's
for me,
awesome.
that was pivotal. That was pivotal.
Folks, if you're just tuning in and you're wondering what you're watching right now, you are watching SOW Victory Live, where it's a fireside stories where we share fireside stories to ignite and inspire victories. Today with our guest, Sally Green, who's sharing her story of becoming a self-care rock star. And in case you missed the pictures she showed earlier, you'll just have to watch the replay. And in case you also missed the announcement, right after the show, right after the camera ends, when we go live, it doesn't end when the cameras go off, right, Kelly? We have we have a post-show meet and greet, and if you're wondering where does that happen, you could just go to live.sowvictory.com right after this camera goes off. You're going to join us there because we're going to have more private and intimate conversations about this topic. Becoming a self-care rock star. All right, back to you, Kelly. I know you have so many questions.
Oh, Sally, everything you just said with me resonated. And you know what? My date was the 10th of May, 2010. And I remember sitting there on my floor with my hands in my eyes and my 3 children screaming, running around the house, playing outside. And I was with a partner back then, and it was just a toxic relationship. And I just said, oh my gosh, I cannot do this. My mind was literally like, feels like my brain was about to pop out of my head. My heart was popping out of my body. Every aspect of myself was giving me sort of like, wake up, Kelly, wake up, wake up, wake up. And so, so I can so relate. And I think there's so many other women out there that can relate to this very topic. And I really believe, and that was an awesome question, Zeph, when did it first start for you? When was that space that you've now grown from to be able to share this story so other women can take action and really empower themselves? Because before the show started, Zeph and I were talking, Sally, that when you know what you just know when change needs to happen. It's right there in front of you. It's just whether you're willing to go into the unknown of who you are, to know that you are so worth this space.
Yeah. And like I said, that's stepping out of your comfort zone, because what you know, and doing something different. Oh my gosh, so, that comfort zone you live in there, and that's where I was. I was a comfort zone addict. I didn't want to stay,
we get too complacent. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think what resonates a lot with me with what you shared earlier is you said, when you make your decision, right, to change, opportunities, what I gathered from your story, when you showed up more often, more opportunities showed up just as much as you showed up for yourself. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's a big part of self-care, because sometimes when we go through crisis or, challenges with work, whatever it may be, or, a pandemic, it's hard to do that, to show up. But when we decide and make that decision to change, and then we show up, the opportunities flow and they just show up too.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit more about, I mean, I'm sure that wasn't planned. It just showed up, and it just, the flow was just great.
Well, it was the connections that I met, the people that I met through, first of all, through saying yes to myself, and then saying yes to the book and investing my money in to be an author in this book, because I would never have done that before. And I think if the pandemic hadn't hit and I wasn't on this journey, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be doing any of this, because I would still be doing what I was doing in 2019, because I was in that routine and in that rut. But it was the people that I met as part of that book. And one of the things I decided, because I said, you know what, these are awesome people. I want these people to be my friends. These are movers and shakers in the industry. When am I going to have a chance to meet people like this? And so what I did was, I started reaching out to everybody in that book and saying, hey, we're in a book together. I'd love to connect with you. What are you doing? What can I help you with?
Yeah.
And it was those connections that I made that made the difference.
The connections, I tell you, doesn't matter where we are in the world. We just have to connect with the right people. That's what it is.
Just like Zeph and I have connected, we're long life sisters from the other side of the planet. And now Sally and the So Sisters platform is creating a high vibrational effect of women coming together that are awoken to support other sisters that are coming through and rising. And I love it. That's why I've connected and our vibes connected. But Sally, we need to get into some fun facts about who you really are. So, Sally, do you mind that we share this little fun fact about you?
I'm in.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm in.
Sally teaches acrylic painting classes at retirement centers around her area where she lives. Sally, this is amazing. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. I love it. And it's mostly women. Actually, I've done some when the guys show up, but it's mostly the women that come to my art classes. And it was so funny because just a couple of weeks ago, I was in a class and the women were saying, we love having you come because, we have so much fun in your class and this is so great. And, it's so great to just be able to express ourselves in art, and they all come out different. And I'll tell them, all right, do this and just have some fun with it, and a lot of them have never painted before. And some of them have, and they're just, rekindling some stuff, but it's really fun to see them just like glow and come out with these paintings and stuff. So
I love that because, I was just telling, because in case some of you don't know this, I just remembered that Sally and I actually live probably half an hour apart. And I was telling her, I don't care where you're doing all these acrylic paint classes, I'm in. And I would be more than willing. Yes, I would be more than willing to be her live streaming producer so that she can also teach online. Wouldn't that be fun? And Kelly's in. She's like, I don't care. I'm in, So this is always going to be fun, folks. All right. We just want to say thank you to you, Sally, for showing up and sharing with us your story, because today I need I need to be reminded more of the self-care, because sometimes we all just go through stuff in life and we just need to be reminded that we need to do to have some self-care. So thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for being here And Wendy says, cool, I'll be in Connecticut soon too. Yeah, she's coming to Connecticut next week from all the way from Texas.
Nice.
So we could probably arrange that, Wendy. Maybe Sally and I and you can,
Hang
have
out.
a meal or a coffee or something like
Absolutely.
that. Well, we'll just do a video call with you, Kelly.
Oh, okay. Thank
There
you
you
for
go,
not
like,
leaving
hey.
me out. I'm like,
We have you here. We have you here.
I'll probably be in bed tucked away, but you can video me and I'll just go, hi.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, Sally, and thank you, Wendy, for
Thank
being
you,
here, for
Sally.
being such a
Thank
great
you.
supporter to the show. Any last words, Kelly, before for Sally before we go?
No, I just want to say, Sally, continue doing absolutely everything that you're doing. Trust your intuition, and you're the rock star of your own story, and then people will follow. Honestly, build it, and
Thank
they will
you.
come. I say. And Zev, you are amazing. You are already a rock star for the Soul Sisters
Aw.
of the world. And I am
Thank
honored
you.
and privileged to be your co-host today. So thank you.
Folks, don't forget, we're having a post-show meet and greet. You can go to live.sowvictory.com. As soon as this camera goes off, we're going to head on right over there, live.sowvictory.com, to have a more intimate conversation with Sally. And until next time, thank you all for tuning in. And in case you missed this and you're watching on replay, thank you for being here with us. Bye, everybody.
Bye.